Allow me to get personal for a moment. I juggle the responsibilities of being a wife, a mother to three, all while working full-time and taking college classes. This means I have to stay on top of schoolwork for two children as well as myself, orthodontic appointments for those same two, eye appointments for three of us, and regular doctor's appointments for the whole family. Then there's shopping to be done regularly, meals to be prepared, showers to oversee, all before I go to work in the evening. And my youngest is only 2, so he requires constant attention in the midst of all of this. Life can be crazy. How many times does it feel like there just aren't enough hours in the day? And how on earth do some people seem to be in total control of their busy schedules? The answer is time management. Hello. My name is Tiffany Scott, and I'm here today to give you a few tips on how to manage your time, which is going to help you to become more productive. There are many tips and tricks to managing your time. The 3 I am sharing with you today are the ones I find to be the most useful. The 3 tips that I have for you is make a to-do list, learn to say no, and remove distractions. And they're simple enough to add to your everyday routine. To begin, make a to-do list. Now, with today's technology, most of us have got constant access to a to-do list right at our fingertips. So whether it's written down on paper or electronic, make a list. When you do so, prioritize it. This allows you to get those bigger and more important tasks done first. And even if one of those big jobs can't be done like first thing in the day, if you set it as a priority, you can schedule the rest of your day around that. Once these priority jobs are done, the rest of them are like butter, easy peasy, done quick. Also, stick to your list. Don't switch from one task to another because it's getting too hard. If you do that, you only have to go back later to finish the one you started. Also, don't add extra work to an already busy schedule. This is a big mistake that many people make, and it just leads to you trying to do too much at once. If you treat your to-do list like an instruction manual for the day, you just take it step by step. This takes me to our next tip, and that is learn to say no. Now, this is one I personally have struggled to overcome in the past. I, like many people, felt it was rude to say no without a good excuse. It's not. I'm here to tell you that today, it's not. It is okay to decline a request, especially if it's something you may not have time to get to, or even if you have time to get to it, you may not have time to complete the job correctly. It's always better to decline than to overschedule your time. This usually, overscheduling just leads to broken promises, which makes you appear to be untrustworthy and undependable. Trust is a really hard thing to regain once it's lost. Also, trying to do too much is just stressful, and stress is no good for anyone. It's bad for your health and can actually cause your performance to suffer. Stress can lead to a loss of sleep and or appetite, and this can cause you to not be able to focus on the task at hand. If you're stressed out and you can't give 100% at a job, then other people have to pick up your slack, and that just adds extra to their workload. Now, before we move on, I have a few questions. How many times have you been doing housework and something on the television catches your attention, or your phone goes off so you run to check it? Next thing you know, you're sitting on the couch and the whole day's gone by and nothing's been done. I'll bet this happens more times than you're willing to admit, but that is why my final tip is the most important, and that is to remove distractions. Instead of letting these things interrupt your day, check and or respond to those emails or other messages during a break time like lunch, or you can set aside a specific time to do so. When you're doing housework, instead of having the TV play in the background for noise, try turning the radio on. That way there's no images that's going to catch your attention and get you sidetracked. Also, save those cell phone games and the all-time consuming social media for the end of the day, once all of your work is done and you're sitting down to relax. If you remember these few rules, prioritize, and follow your list, remember that it's okay to say no and remove those distractions, I can guarantee you will begin to feel more in control of your time and you'll be getting all those jobs done like a pro.